Okay, legends, here we go. This is my review on Godzilla vs. Kong, and I am going to spoil the absolute crap out of this movie. So if you don't want spoilers, go watch the movie and then come back and check this video out. Hey guys, welcome along to Here's Rodder's Reviews. I am your host, Rodney Stewart. I just got through watching Godzilla vs. Kong, and if you've seen my prediction video, I did that like probably about a day before the movie was released here in the UK, and you know what? I'm an absolute genius. Literally, what I had said in that prediction video was just about accurate. Apart from, I thought that they were perhaps going to introduce some of the space monsters by the end of this movie. But genuinely, after having seen it now, the way it ended off, spoilers if we go any further in this video, Godzilla is, at the beginning of the movie, pissed about something, and he's going off in one. He attacks Apex Labs because, you know, the worst kept secret in the cinema for 2021 has been the fact that Mechagodzilla was going to be in this movie, and that's essentially why Godzilla goes off in one at the beginning of this movie. He senses something's wrong, and he attacks Apex, and the humans decide that, you know, Kong is a key to discovering a way of beating Godzilla, basically. And there's a whole thing with Hollow Earth, lost civilization where the monsters originally came from, and they're after a power source that they believe is there that can defeat Godzilla. But they're after this power source essentially to power up Mechagodzilla, who is, I don't want to spoil it too badly for you, but the head of Ghidorah from the last movie comes into play in it as well. Connected through Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, sorry. So they get Kong to the inner Earth, and this is where he finds the axe, the giant axe that he has, and it's basically made from like one of a Godzilla-like creature's fin, and you know, it is bubblegum for the brain all around. Godzilla and Kong do face off 2 or 3 times in this movie. Not quite as much as you would have liked to have seen, but it comes nicely into play in their battles, depending on their environments. I enjoyed that part of it. The first confrontation they have is at sea, when Kong is strapped to the ship. They're trying to take him to Antarctica, to the entrance to Hollow Earth. And Godzilla, of course, you know, he has the upper hand when it comes to the oceans, and that plays out in big style in the first confrontation. The second confrontation happens on dry land between the two of them, and Kong makes not short work of Godzilla, but he does win the second round, essentially. They go for a third bout, and Kong once again comes off the worse for wear in this third confrontation. This is when Mechagodzilla makes his entrance, and it is great just the way that it happens. There's a system malfunction, the humans lose control of Mechagodzilla, and essentially you know, they're using the head of Ghidorah to control this thing like a human pilot inside the skull of or the deceased head of Ghidorah, but there's a telepathic link that Ghidorah had between his 3 heads, and they're using that link between this head that was left off after King of the Monsters, and they're using that telepathic connection to power Mechagodzilla. But they lose control, and basically Mechagodzilla goes off and one on his own. So he's pretty much, they don't so much say it in the movie, but it's, you know, it just seems like the spirit and evilness of Ghidorah as controlling Mechagodzilla in the final confrontation. And I was right in the prediction. You've got two hero monsters here, Godzilla and Kong. Both of them have to be standing at the end of the movie, and they do in the final confrontation at the end of the movie against Mechagodzilla. They stand up together to beat him, and it is beautifully done. There's a lot of little pieces in this film that really made me chuckle. I'm so glad, in all honesty, that I was able to rent this movie on VOD and watch it at home, because there's a few points just in the fights of the one between Godzilla and Kong where I was just like, oh, it was so good, I need to see that again. And literally I didn't see one of the fights in this movie without actually rewinding it a little bit just to watch a piece of it over again, because it was just so good. There's a part when Godzilla and Kong are facing off, and they're on dry land in the city at this point, and Godzilla blasts a nuclear flame across the city at Kong, and Kong, he's jumping through the buildings and stuff trying to avoid this, and he gets hit in the back and falls and rolls, and Godzilla chuckles. It is awesome. It's beautifully done. The end to this movie is very, very good. The little girl you see in the trailers that has this special bond and connection with Kong tells him through sign language when Mechagodzilla is attacking that Godzilla is not the enemy, and Kong can't really comprehend this at this point, because there's a whole history between his ancestors and Godzilla's ancestors fighting other, and he stands up at the end to try and help Godzilla. It's just the little bits of emotion. Like, that little girl in this movie is a phenomenal little actress in this role. It was just that point where she was trying to communicate to Kong that Godzilla's not the enemy, Mechagodzilla is, be careful, please help him, sort of thing, help us. And she's doing this sign language, and during it she's wiping a tear from her eyes, and I did, no shame, I did kind of well up at that point. It was just so tastefully done. Really did enjoy it. The end of the movie, after Mechagodzilla is defeated, of course you still have this power play between Godzilla and Kong, and for a second they kind of face off again in the city, and Kong has the giant axe in his hand, and he just like drops it at his side, and Godzilla just pretty much turns and walks away. So they've reached a point at the end of the film where, there's going to be two number one predators in the world. But in saying that, Kong goes to Hollow Earth, where he found traces of his ancestry there, and he finishes off the movie there happy. So, like, Godzilla is in his own realm, essentially, and Kong is in his own Hollow Earth realm at the end of this movie. So, just because they've came to an understanding and respect for each other, they're not exactly on the same realms on the Earth. It's a good movie, and this video has completely spoiled it for you. So it's a Godzilla versus Kong movie. This, I could go into more detail on that. There's a whole load of stuff with the humans and whatnot, and some fairly interesting stuff as far as the human storyline goes. Not quite as boring as the previous movies when it comes to the human storyline, but let's not beat around the bush about it. It's a Godzilla versus Kong movie. We're here to see giant monsters kicking the crap out of each other, and this movie delivers in style. It is a good time all around if you're into this sort of thing. If you're into this is a movie to just sit down, chill out, switch off for a while, and just enjoy the spectacle of it. And you know, I didn't think that they could have pulled it off just as well as they did. I think it delivered in a major way. So, there's no real big spoilers here at the end of the day. Of course, again, you've got two hero monsters, and, there's going to be, they did say there was going to be a clear winner between the two of them before the movie came out. And the clear winner between the two of them definitely did be Godzilla at the end of the movie. He did do more damage to Kong in this movie than Kong did to Godzilla. But by the end of the movie, if Kong wasn't there, Godzilla was done for. Brilliant movie. Enjoy it. Rent it out as soon as you can. Again, it's just, I'm really glad. Like, there's a part of me would really have liked to see this on the big screen. But those few moments in the fights and whatnot, and a couple of the comical moments where I had to rewind it back, there's a scene in there with the main villain who's not a kicking the backside away from the twirling moustache kind of villain. When he gets his comeuppance in this movie, it is actually hilarious the way they do that too. Not that you'd like to see someone taking a nosedive or coming to an end like that, but the way they did it in this movie injected a little bit of humour into it that was just so well done. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Obviously, if you've watched the review to this point, you don't care about spoilers, but there's no spoilers to be had in this movie. If you've seen the trailer, you know where it's going to go. Two hero monsters both stand at the end of the movie, but how they get there and the level of understanding the two of them have is great. And that little girl, fantastic little actress in this movie. Enjoyed it so much. As soon as I upload this video, I'm going to go watch it again